Israel's ground invasion into Gaza is still coming, by all accounts, but no one really knows when exactly that will be. The Chief of Staff of the Israel Defense Forces says his troops are ready to take their war with Hamas terrorists to the next stage in Gaza, but there are tactical and strategic considerations delaying the ground offensive. When Hamas terrorists launched their surprise attack on October 7th, the IDF and Israeli intelligence were caught completely off guard. Hamas killed more than 1,400 people and kidnapped more than 200 men, women, and children. By any means, it was absolutely an intelligence and operational failure. The IDF needs to prevent another such disaster, so it's delaying the ground invasion. The delay means the IDF can keep striking Hamas targets from the air and sea, train its reservists, and hopefully collect vital intelligence about where the over 200 hostages are being held. Hamas uses a vast network of underground tunnels to maneuver troops and weapons around Gaza. The tunnels are also used as spaces to make weapons, store supplies, and keep kidnap victims. Above ground, Hamas likely laid traps throughout Gaza's densely populated neighborhoods, traps which Israeli forces will have to deal with soon enough. Hamas terrorists are known to operate within the civilian population, using sites like schools and mosques to hide from Israeli forces. The IDF says its mission will be to limit civilian casualties, but as with any war, there will be civilian casualties. In Gaza, that number will likely be high. It's why Senator Lindsey Graham called fighting there urban warfare on steroids. The United States sent several military officers to Israel to help advise on the upcoming operation. Marine 3-star General James Glynn is among those sent. General Glynn led special operations against ISIS and served in Fallujah, Iraq, an urban warfare environment known for its ferocity. Glynn and his American colleagues are in Israel strictly to offer advice. That's according to the U.S. and Israeli governments. Neither side wants to feed the Iranian-backed narrative that the U.S. controls Israel. In addition to allowing more time for training and intelligence gathering, delaying the Gaza ground invasion also means Israel and the U.S. have time to prepare for the regional fallout, which is all but guaranteed to happen. Iran backs Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon along the northern border of Israel. The Iranian regime is also calling in Revolutionary Guard Corps troops from Syria to mass near the Golan area, also to Israel's north. Sources within the Israeli government said while Gaza will be the initial focus of ground operations, a northern front could quickly take its place as the primary area of operation for the IDF. The U.S. is also positioning more air defense systems in the Middle East to protect its assets and soldiers. There have been at least half a dozen drone attacks on U.S. military sites in the region since October 7th. Thankfully, only one of those attacks resulted in minor injuries. The U.S. thinks Iran is behind the strikes, using its many proxies in the area. Finally, during the IDF's delayed ground invasion into Gaza, Hamas terrorists released 4 hostages. While no one is going on the record, the Associated Press cited an anonymous source in the U.S. government who said the Biden administration asked the Israelis to delay the ground assault in order to buy more time to negotiate the release of more hostages. Israel's patience with those requests is reportedly wearing thin. But when asked if he'd support a ceasefire for hostages deal, President Joe Biden said those hostages should be released first, and then talk about a ceasefire could start.